Hi, we're Harder Brunch.
We're Harder Brunch.
And we're super excited to tell you about our adult summer camp this August 25th, 26th, and 27th.
Wow.
We're going to be doing a full 3-day festival, and we want you to be a part of it.
Let's go.
It's going to be amazing. We got all your favorite comedians. We got headliners Brent Terhune and Gwen Sunkel on board.
Okay.
We're going to have musical acts by Clint Breeze, House of Wolves, The Tubbles.
Dang.
And all weekend is going to be all inclusive.
Wait, all
That's
inclusive?
right. One ticket price all weekend long gets you into everything. We're going to be bringing back all of the favorite summer camp activities you remember as a kid. We're going to be doing swimming, archery, handicrafts, canoes.
Wow.
All weekend long, all inclusive.
That's not even financially smart.
Well, that's what we're doing. Get your tickets today at eventbrite.com, and we'll see you there.
I guess we'll see you there.
Harder Brunch. Summer camp.
Damn. Ooh, I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream. Them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture. Cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels, and with me, as always, my co-host, Thaddeus J. McKee.
Slappy Pappy wank wank.
On the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, a very special guest producer who also set this whole thing up all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, Trent Ludzak.
Perfect. You got it.
Hey,
Nailed it.
nice.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much for letting us use your beautiful studio and accommodating all of this craziness. We always like to put out an episode every Sunday, and this is our first away game where we didn't bring any equipment or anything. We just showed up, and you've been super gracious, so thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely, man. That's why I set it all up for stuff like this. So
It's super fun. I love seeing other people's other people's setups. I love seeing other people's setups and checking out how everybody else does the podcasting thing. And then we have a very special guest with us in studio, comedian Ty Colgate.
Yes. Good to meet you boys.
That's a strong name, Ty Colgate.
Ty Colgate? Yeah, it's punchy, like shotgun or something.
Yeah.
It used to be Tyler Colgate, but I was a 90s baby, so there's like 100 Tylers
yeah.
in my high school.
Yeah.
Beat them to the punch, grab Ty, and then I just ride with that now.
I got to say, Ty seems a little less douchey than Tyler.
Yeah. I think Tyler sounds very privileged.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Tyler Colgate sounds like he embezzles money. Ty Colgate just sounds like he's a good time.
Yeah, he's a good
It's a
dude.
good time. Had some bad stuff happen to him.
Yeah. Honestly, if my parents were together when I was born, it was supposed to be Richard Tyler Swan, which would have been like, that sounds like Rothschild money.
Yeah.
Then he would have been a dick.
Yeah, definitely.
Dick Tyler. Do you know what your alternate name would have been, Thad?
Yeah. If I was a girl,
Yeah.
Sarah Lee.
Certainly. Mine was Katrina Marie.
Katrina, that's nice.
Yeah.
The Hurricane.
Yeah, I would have. She would have been a real problem. I feel
Very
like Katrina
powerful.
would have been
Katrina,
a real
yeah.
issue. But thank you so much for coming on this special road episode. It seems like you just got off the we kind of caught you in between one gig and another gig. You're hosting tonight.
Yes. Yeah. We did Charlotte last night for like a couple Don't Tell shows. Which,
those are amazing.
Those are the best. Yeah. We'll write, book, sell that stuff out in like Charlotte, and it's tons of fun.
How far is Charlotte from here?
Like 4 hours, so it's like not really that far, but it's like just far enough to be a pain in the ass. We got back in at like 3 a.m.
That's about how we are from like Chicago. It's just like,
Really?
it's just far enough to be like, like we went up and did Laugh Factory, Mike, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And it was just like, let's just go up there, do the mic, and come back all in one day. And it was just like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it. I mean, I think the worst one was one time we went Nashville to New York City.
Oh, wow.
And I changed as a person.
Yeah,
That's
in one go?
What? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we might have stopped at some point and just like threw in the towel.
But you didn't sleep.
Not well.
Yeah.
Not well. I think that because it's like 14 hours,
Yeah.
New York City
Jeez.
from Nashville.
No, that's crazy. Those Man, I'm really impressed with those Don't Tell shows. For people that don't know, it's kind of like a franchise comedy club that like
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere, but they're also very like each one you go to is very different, like because of the venue or whatever. But it's also like it's really easy. You just buy it on the app on your phone. Everything's done through the app. I haven't had a bad one. I've had ones where like, oh, this is bigger than another city, or like ones that'll do like multiple shows in a night. But
Yeah.
I've never done one Don't Tell and been like, this was bad.
So what are the audiences of Don't Tell for you guys? Because I've done a few in different places, but they always feel like the same crowd.
So for mine, they're like it's like a little bit of the younger generation.
Yeah.
And then also they're all down to see comedy. They're finding this cool thing that other people don't know about. And they're like, we're really into comedy, but are you into Don't Tell comedy? And so I think they're more jazzed for the shows. I don't know if that's been the same for you.
No, it's about the same. I want to say, yeah, it's like always 25 to 30. And they all look like young professionals.
Yeah,
They all look like they have so much more money than the whole lineup.
Oh, I got you.
And it's like, it's interesting. I wonder what like their branding is against that specific kind of person. It's a lot of like shorts and Sperry's.
Yeah. It's already someone that's on the internet a lot and that can find cool things.
Yeah, that's
Finance
true.
Bros.
There's a cool factor with Finance Bros. There's a definite cool factor I feel like with it. I did one show where it was out of that demographic, but I think it was just the location that they had the thing was in like a suburb of Indianapolis, and so it was it definitely skewed a little bit older.
Okay,
but like most of them are young people. I heard a thing that the person that started it used to work for Airbnb and stole their email.
I literally,
Stole?
I wanted to tell this, so I didn't know if we should. I've heard that as well.
Hey, don't tell if you're listening. I didn't hear anything about that. I think, hey, emails are emails. They're
No, I think I'm not chastising it. I think that's great. I
trying
would
to
do
get
it
booked.
too.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
trying to get
guy.
booked.
You said the one thing you're not supposed to tell, guys. Come
Yeah.
on.
That's what it was all about. Don't tell about this and you could get booked.
Don't tell about the
blew
damn
it.
email list.
Yeah.
Barely got started in the industry, and we already fucking blew it.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, I meant to say I had a great time doing those shows.
Yeah.
I don't know where any of their trade secrets.
They're Clinton's emails.
I mean, when I worked at Weather Channel, I put one of my show flyers into the frame, like because they had like a set that they dressed up, and I dropped one of the flyers back there for the shot. So I mean, that was as cool as you could get at Weather Channel. I couldn't steal an email list. I didn't have that.
That's not,
Man,
what-
I bet my dad saw that flyer.
He did not buy a ticket though.
No, he watches Weather Channel all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Big watcher.
Okay.
what was the like? Was there any venues that stuck out as being like particularly cool or fun that you gotta do through the Don't Tell?
Well, last night it felt like we were doing stand up like in a music video.
Okay.
Like it kind of because it was like on a psych wall in a film studio, but it had like purple lighting.
Nice.
So everyone was just like a different shade of purple all night. And it felt a little bit too cool for stand up. I think that's that'd be my only critique. Is sometimes Don't Tell picks places that are like almost too fucking cool for what we're doing.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me. I think I might be projecting. I don't have jokes cool enough for like purple lighting and a psych wall that we look like we broke into.
Yeah.
But I feel
people
like-
should be on Molly in that room.
Yeah, I feel like that's
That
perfect though,
vibe.
because then it's like it sets everybody up to like, oh, where the hell are we? Like I love performing in weird places like that.
Yeah.
Like one Don't Tell I did in Lexington, Kentucky was like in a castle. Like I don't know what it was. Like it was a weird like
That's cool as
big
fuck.
castle shaped building that they had turned into an art studio and stuff. And we pulled up and I was like, oh man, this is legit. Like this is fun.
I would love for Don't Tell to expand like overseas because like I did a tour through Europe once, and I'd love to see like a real like Bavarian castle or something.
Oh yeah.
Like actually get people out to like a really cool place.
You might have just called it. Why don't you start that?
Just steal Don't Tell
Yeah,
bottle
don't-
ticket to
yeah,
Europe.
That's how it goes.
steal their email list too.
Yeah, take the email list.
I bet
And
you'd thrive in
do
China.
call. What's that?
I bet you'd thrive in China if you did that.
Yeah.
Thrive in China. Yeah,
Call
yeah.
it do tell.
Do tell. Please tell.
Yeah, because I'm starting in other countries. I need help.
Yeah, I don't have an email list from Airbnb, so please tell everyone you know.
How long have you been doing stand-up comedy for?
Like 4-ish years, close to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where all of you got to like do it at? Like, because you said you're on the road a lot.
Overseas, I've done it in Germany, Spain, and France.
Wow.
And then in America, I think I've done both coasts. I've done LA, San Francisco. Not a lot in the West Coast. I've never done Denver, and I really want to do Denver. That seems everyone always says it's like the coolest scene.
Yeah.
And then I've done up and down the East Coast. And don't mean to brag, I have done it in a Chinese restaurant in Massachusetts.
Nice.
Good.
Which to me might be the best. Fuck, don't tell. Do it in front of the kitchen at a Chinese restaurant, and you will know if you want to do stand-up comedy.
Drop in at P.F. Chang's.
And it really felt like it was kind of a P.F. Chang's.
Drop a hot 10 minutes.
I did so well. A man came up to me and he was like, "We can go to McDonald's after, and I'll buy you as many hamburgers as you want."
We have a place in Indy that's it's called Secret Chicken. It's like a chicken place that's in the back. It's like a chicken speakeasy. Where they like a fried chicken spot.
Makes me nervous. A secret chicken sounds like what's going on back there?
And then it's like an Indian dude, I think, running it.
Okay.
And so like I've heard nothing but good things about the chicken, but they'll do comedy shows back there in the secret chicken spot. You know, like that's
great.
That's pretty cool.
How many people fit back there?
I don't know. I've never gotten booked on that show.
I want to do the secret chicken spot.
Did you, when you did stuff overseas, because I know a lot of Europe, like English is kind of the second language for most countries, but was there anything that kind of got like lost in translation, or like jokes that you told that this normally kills in the state, and people are just looking at you like...
They understand like most American cultural references because we, media-wise, America like dominates pretty hard on that.
Set the trends.
If you do like deep cut references, you'll definitely lose them. Like, I didn't know what like some of them didn't even know what like a Republican was. Mm-hmm. So it's like better not to get lost in the sauce of like I guess our politics, the structure of our politics. And then it was really funny over there seeing the reverse of like what jokes are like. Like over here, like ass-eating jokes are very hack, right? Mm-hmm. But that shit has just hit Europe, and they are excited.
Oh, really?
Every scene I did, they were very excited to tell ass-eating jokes.
That's really surprising for me because I feel like if that came from anywhere, it came from Europe.
Yeah, I'd imagine. It seems like they would be the most sexually adventurous.
Yeah.
Very European.
Yeah,
but I guess they weren't joking about it. I guess it was
wasn't
much
a
more
joke.
it was much more serious.
Yeah, but they're younger in comedy, so they're just like 10 years behind. I mean, we were all ass-eating jokes 10 years ago.
Wait for Spirit to get over there. It's over.
So it just took them all. Yeah.
Where are we now? What are we eating now? Where are jokes?
What's our like in America?
Yeah.
I think we're post-eating because of COVID.
Well, actually, you hit it. I think
culture.
COVID. Anyone that's still saying a COVID joke, I mean, we've hammered that. But there's still a few comics I've seen on the road that have like a good little COVID joke in the back pocket. It's like, buddy, it's so fast.
Oh man, I have 3 COVID
jokes. You have a COVID joke.
I'm going into a comedy contest this year, and I was even like, all right, this is when I retire. I'm going to say it like at this contest, and then I'm retiring the COVID jokes.
Film it too, like just put it out, because like I mean, if it has like legs on it still, because it all depends on like obviously the context and the premise. I don't. Yeah. I just mean people that are just like, man, I had COVID and I couldn't taste anything, and it was like I feel like it has to be something more.
I have this really good World War II joke that I'm about to retire.
Bro, let's go.
And so I just don't know when the right time is.
I like to talk a lot about.
You should retire when the last World War II vet goes.
Definitely get it in before World War III.
That's what I'm trying to do.
I have a hot take about Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
A hot assassination Franz Ferdinand joke.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you start off in Atlanta? Is this your original scene?
Because like technically my first open mic was in Orlando, but I was in college, and at the time I was still selling drugs, which was way more interesting to do than do comedy.
Yeah. What were you going to college for?
I went to college for radio television, so clearly crushing it in life.
Yeah.
When you go to radio television, I think that's why it's Ty Colgate now. If I did finance, Tyler. Yeah.
Well, that's a good transition into like podcasting and speaking professionally. And
we didn't really like. I know the equipment really well, but we didn't really get like any of the speaking classes. Like I have to give you like you killed it like right away. It felt very like radio. You came in hot. You had great introductions for everyone. I did not learn that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch your introductions for my show.
Yeah, I want to take notes.
I need to study.
We just do it every week. I was the kid that
Can
like
we copyright
like,
our introduction?
when
Fuck.
I mean, I grew up with like, hey, like me and my friends would get like a tape recorder and just like tape our voices and be like, so I feel like I've been podcasting my whole life in a way.
Well, you were just like practicing into a tape recorder?
I was just excited that we could hear back our voice.
Oh, you're different,
and
bro.
so we would just make
Holy shit.
We would make skits and sketches and we would cut like promos and stuff and just like, you know, and then just play it back and then it was just like, oh my god, that was us. We just said that. Like,
it is cool, yeah. Especially if you get like as a kid, you get a camcorder.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everything you shoot's gonna be dog shit, but
Yeah,
it's
oh,
like
yeah.
it's fucking Oscar worthy when you and your friends watch it. It's incredible.
So fun. I did that too. By the time I was like right after high school, like we would always watch like wrestling, and then after wrestling was over, like we would just like make a movie, and the movie would always be made up on the fly, and it was a lot of just stolen like jokes from movies that we liked and stuff
course.
like that. But like, yeah, it was like I'm a bit older too, so it was like before like you could like upload everything to YouTube and stuff. It was just for us,
Yeah.
Or like the poor friend that wasn't there, and then like next time they come over, like you gotta watch this movie we made. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great.
What were you guys like editing on?
Video toaster, like old school, like old
Video
school.
toaster.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, that's dope. I love that. So you were like ready to go with content.
I was making a movie on 9/11, like 9/10. We were shooting a movie, and like
Did you guys go dark for a day to like?
we were. I think it was the second. I think we were trying to shoot it in like
Where were you on 9/11 making a movie?
making a movie. I was making a horror movie. I was making a horror movie on 9/10, and we shot really late. And I remember my friend who had like the camera and was like the director and everything. He comes back over like 9:30 in the morning, and I'm like, "Fuck, he must have left something. You know, why is he back over here so early?" And he just like knocking. He's like, "We're under attack." And I was like my house? What are we talking about? He's turn the TV on. That's how I found out about 9/11. Yeah, so we had definitely been doing like I don't know. I don't know what the idea was to do with that because it wasn't like we were putting it on the internet or anything.
I think back then, like how old were you? Like you just do that.
I was like 20.
I think back then you just made it for fun, right?
Yeah. It was
You
fun.
remember that when you didn't like monetize every fucking
Yeah,
hobby?
it wasn't
of the
about the
game.
views even.
Yeah.
It was like, is it good?
Yeah.
There was a value of, is this good? Is it compelling? Is it my truth? And now it's all about the views, baby.
Oh yeah. I kind of play piano here and there, but I never have time because I'm like I can't fucking make money on this shit. Not good enough.
I can't put it. Do you feel the I feel like we all feel this, but like you like have to feed the social media like
Oh
monster
my god!
every day.
Yes, all the fucking time.
I always feel like there's a clock running out, and then I look because like I'm in charge of like my own obviously, and then also like the Harder Brunch, and so like every day I'm just like, oh god, there's only 2 hours left on this. Like I got to put some more stuff up. And
Yeah.
like,
Imagine having fake five accounts. 5 fake accounts.
who has 5 fake accounts?
I do now.
Yeah. What
I
are
feel
they?
like I gotta-
Can you list them real quick?
I don't want to.
Okay.
But yeah,
kind of
that's
defeats
even
the
harder. It's
purpose.
like having 5 social media children.
Yeah.
You got to feed them. You're going to get CPS is going to call.
Are you boys on Threads yet?
Just started since we've been down here.
Yeah.
Because I just started
Yeah.
I started getting all these notifications and I was like, what? And then I was like, well, I guess if everyone's starting at the same time, it makes it because I was always elated. I hated social media before I got into like comedy and like pushing stuff. Like I was like anti, like I'm not gonna put all my business out there,
Of course.
on social media. And now I kind of regret, like, oh, I should have been building.
I should have been a little
up.
slut on the internet.
Oh, man.
Way fucking sooner.
Yeah. YouTube stars, they're all famous now.
Oh yeah, we all made fun of them.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I'm old enough now where it's like I've made fun of every single new thing that came along
yeah.
and then watched people become famous off of it. So like now I'm just like, I'm not talking shit about Threads. Let's get on. Let's see what it does.
It's so funny. I think everyone's reached the same point where it's like, I won't talk shit about any social media.
Yeah.
I will get on it and be a fly on the wall for a little bit
Yeah.
and see if there's an angle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I got a TikTok tattoo.
Because we've all seen so many people blow up through TikTok. I mean, I've seen people blow up in like the past 2 and 3 years.
Oh, so many comedians, their
And
lives
just,
changed.
Like
on-
starting it up, and I'm like, I gotta start one up now. It seems a little late, and then like 2 years later, they're like TikTok famous.
Yeah. And you watch your friends get TikTok famous, and you're like, okay.
All right.
They were on it.
So Threads, I'm in. I'm all in.
Oh, you're all in on Threads?
Yeah, put up whatever.
But I don't know how it bumps you up. Like
I don't think it does. But
Seems to have less traction than Twitter right now for me. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just shooting in the void.
Yeah.
So that's what everybody's doing.
I have more traction on Threads. Like Twitter is truly like an abyss for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know people on Twitter. I think I'm like the only friend in all my groups that's like has a Twitter. So I'm just tweeting for the love of the game.
You know what I think we should do? I think the billionaires need to come up with something where there's just like a cleansing. Like every 4 years, there's a new social media.
Yeah.
Everything's wiped away, so you have to start over. And like, did you really have those friends? Did you really have? Are these bots? You know, like a social media purge.
Yeah.
Social media purge.
Or a real purge. You know, either way, it would mix things up.
Oh, like real killing. Now we're talking.
Yeah, no, we escalated
I say
that
we
fast.
do both. Same time, both of them.
Yeah, I killed like four. I killed like
Gonna be a
four.
lot of blood on some ring
It
lights.
is funny because I don't know you very well, and like I just see like this long hair
like-
and like this long beard. I'm like, wait, he might be serious.
Like, oh, he means it.
I just judged you.
He might be purging people out there willy nilly. I
not
killed,
willy nilly.
Yeah, it's a time and a date.
I think probably too much about the purge. I feel like
You think too much about the Purge?
Yeah, I think about
The concept of the movie.
the concept
Okay.
of the purge, because there was not only movies, then they did a TV show, and they really did a lot of world building
Oh my
for
God,
the purge.
I didn't keep track of the Purge at all.
And,
I think I watched the first one and I was like, yeah, I get it. And then clearly it's like mutated in the whole thing. Is there a Purge podcast as well?
I'm sure
there has to be.
I just like to think about like, so like, you know, there's one day a week or one day a year you can do any crime. So like you try to kill me on the purge, but you don't.
Yeah.
And then the next day we have to go back to work, and I'm like, this son of a bitch tried to kill me on purge day.
But it's purge day,
And then I
though.
have to wait a whole year and just be cool because
or kill him on the next purge.
yeah, I have to wait a whole year.
handle your crap.
That is
like,
wild.
Like, how do you think that dynamic works? Like, you go back to work the next day.
It's probably the same as like shooting your shot with a girl at the office.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I
Don't
mean?
try. Yeah, don't shit where you eat.
Yeah.
don't purge where you work.
Because she'll act like she's not going to tell anyone, but she's going to tell everyone. No one's going to know you fucking
you're
suck.
you're the
You
office
fucking
creep.
blew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear Dyke tried to kill me. He
What a
missed.
creep! He tried to kill you on purge day. He works with you. What a chance!
Yeah, what a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, why would you kill someone that you work with and maybe not get away with it? It's such a bad
He
plan.
shot up to my house with a crossbow, missed, and then didn't know how to reload. Took him a day just trying to reload the fucking thing.
The weirder the weapon, like the more
Oh, that's
creepier
how
you
Purge
are.
would absolutely be. People would be getting like
Different
that's,
weapons.
That's how you would merge it because people would get weird with the way they
Yeah.
killed people for social media.
Oh, they're going viral.
If you're doing it on the same day,
Bro, purge
yes.
viral's a different kind of viral.
Yeah.
Think about it. The
Oh,
TikTok
yeah.
hustle houses, they're gonna be all armored up, bro, and they're gonna have like flamethrowers and chainsaws.
The other 364 days of the year would just be protecting myself. I'd be building moats. I'd be building castles.
Yeah.
Like do not like that would be a protection day. Like
I think this. How about Hunger Games, but with TikTok hustle houses?
ooh.
You just take out whole households of influencers. You know, you drop them all off. There's a cornucopia of weapons, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's rushing to that.
and you get more followers the longer you stay alive.
Yeah.
Isn't the goal? You get a bunch of followers if you
Well, you do
win.
the TikTok live stream.
No, you take
feature.
their followers.
That's it. That's it.
That
That's it.
leveled up the idea huge.
Yeah, then you're like, all right,
Holy shit.
I'm good.
I can think of 10 people that would sign up for that right now.
Let me tell you, my fucking views have been down. I'll do it today. I will do it today.
I didn't want to skip over this. I also like the idea of instead of the purge and killing, it's just a one day a year where you shoot your shot with somebody. You know, like everyone,
That's a
Sexual purge.
everyone does a sexual purge.
That's a Patrice O'Neill joke, the sexual harassment day.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best bits in the world. It's so funny.
Well, parallel thinking. That's great.
I've been
You're on the right
I've been
track.
waiting all year to just ask if you'd suck my dick in the broom closet. That's like one of the best bits ever. It's such a wild bit.
He's like, hey, like I like how he always approaches it too. He's like, hey, I'm not trying to be.
Hey.
Hey, you know what day it is?
No, you can keep the flowers.
Here's the flowers.
What was it? It's like, look, we'll do the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. That's the day you want to do sexual harassment.
But what if you just found out like everybody was just, I don't know, compelled honest, and you just found out all the people that wanted to fuck you that year, and then you sent out your own list to other people. You just got it and went like, oh, it was like a Christmas card. Like, oh,
Wait, a Christmas card?
Like Susie wants to fuck me, like Susie from the deli.
Yeah, you're just sending a dick pic, like a Christmas time dick pic.
I like to call it a Yule log, but yes.
Yule log, yeah. Well, that depends. It might be a mistletoe for some.
Oh yeah.
I'm totally aged out of the dick pic because when I was like,
who's doing that anymore?
I don't.
That has to be over.
Whoever did it, whoever thought like an unsolicited
the megapixels got too good on the phones.
It had to really work for somebody at some point.
Yeah,
like somebody had to got some traction with that to be like, oh, that's the move.
Yeah,
like
well, the first dick pic was revolutionary. Probably
revolutionary.
Yeah,
like what year are we talking? 1800s.
Oh, like he illustrated
the Revolutionary War dick pic.
Yeah, like stand there for like 1 hour.
He got an oil painting.
That's a joke.
Of his hard dick.
Oil painting. Yeah.
I guess that's what the dick pic would have been.
Yeah, like and she'd be like, "Wait, what is this?" It's like it's my penis.
I mean, they do have a lot of like.
Maybe that's why all the dicks were flaccid. Maybe they sorted out as like.
I think that was a thing because the statues, like when you look at the statues' penises, very small,
very small,
very small. And so I think the men want to be like, hey, I'm bigger than that statue that's 7 feet tall.
You see that little boy angel? Fucking
yeah.
I got like 6 inches on that guy.
Right. It's just, man, like my husband's bigger than a statue.
Yeah, my husband's bigger.
And all the artists are just like looking at each other like, wink. It worked, gentlemen.
That's a fun. I like that. The original dick pic is just an oil painting.
Yeah.
Well, I've always felt like, like we make fun of like foodie cultures and like, oh, we just take pictures of our food and blah, blah. Like, I think food is one of the first things ever like carved onto the side of a wall was like somebody like killing like a buffalo or something. Or,
right.
Like.
Food is the first art.
Yeah, I think it was the first thing. It's like, look, we killed this thing and we ate it. Remember that? Like, it was literally like the first.
Well, it's like the first. Well, I think we've always been excited about food.
Yeah.
I think there's never been a time no one's been excited about food. So.
Well, we're definitely excited about
Speaking
food.
about food
Here on Harder Brunch. We ordered some local pizza. We're gonna take a quick break and take a quick bite of that. But before we get into that, I always like to ask our guests, do you have any food background? Did you ever work in a restaurant or a bar?
I did. I don't mean to brag. I did work at Red Lobster on International Drive.
Hey.
Yeah, so I don't know if you boys know about seafood, fine dining.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that.
You do have a look that you could work. I feel like you could work at any chain restaurant and kill.
Oh, yeah. I have
very
chain restaurant face.
Successful.
Yeah. I could climb my way up a good chain restaurant.
You got a good CRM.
I could manage a Cheddar's.
You should apply for acting roles for that because you'll get it. You'll get
like their training videos or something.
No, like you could be the waiter in any big show or movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That almost feels insulting, but I'm gonna find the compliment in it.
You're
welcome.
Do you have a good server voice? My server voice is very high pitched.
They never let me become a server. I got stuck at busboy.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, you're so tall too. They'd have to look up
yeah,
and hurt their necks.
that is true. The one time I did serve food to a table, I had food poisoning, and it was just the smell of fried seafood wafting, and I like immediately I pretty much threw the plates down because I could feel it coming up, and just sat in that bathroom for hours, just vomiting at a Red Lobster with it's filled with Europeans because this is Orlando, Florida, so it's just British people hearing me die in the bathroom.
sounds like
Excuse me, is that busboy
Excuse
supposed to be puking and all over the bathroom like that?
it sounds like you did something bad in a past life to get that. Like that seems like a real.
Yeah.
Did you run over a gypsy or something?
I must have. I don't know what my heritage is, but I'm sure there was a stolen goat along the way or something. Because I was a fucking bust. I remember I broke a glass and got glass in my hands, and I was like taking the glass out. We got Band-Aids on it, and they're like, "Yeah, but you have to still work."
Yeah.
Oh,
we had to flip these tables.
You had to work while you were bloody.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally
Still got that British accent going.
saved
have
someone's
fought a
life
shaman.
one time at a restaurant. Like I gave a dude the Heimlich maneuver, and he was choking, and saved someone's life. And I was convinced that it was so traumatic for me, even because I thought the guy was gonna die. And the whole restaurant stops and is watching, and the steak flies out of his mouth and everything, and I thought I was gonna have the whole rest of the day off. I thought I was gonna be a hero, and they're gonna give me a plaque.
Yeah.
And they were just go fucking do the rest of your tables and finish out
Whoa!
your
You
shift.
saved a man's life,
Yeah.
and they kept you working.
That's cold blooded.
The guy also didn't tip. He did not.
Whoa.
He didn't
You
tip.
fucking what the fuck?
he was very, I think he was embarrassed because he almost died.
You should have choked him in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he had his 1 second chance. His life flashed before his eyes. Like, yeah, maybe I have been a dick to a lot of people.
That's
he
what
gets
has me
saved and
so
doesn't
fired
tip.
up. I'm so fucking mad.
He's like, I get
upsetting.
another chance just to rip off a mixed boy.
That's really upsetting.
That's what they call me. Let's take a
He was racist in my opinion.
let's take a quick commercial break, and we're gonna grab some local pizza, and we'll be right back.
This week on the After Brunch Podcast.
However, I did start to think about 45 minutes into the podcast that this is a bunch of grown men and one 23-year-old young lady who's been 3 months into stand-up comedy, that she might run out of here. This may be the last podcast I ever do. It felt a lot like, so when I was a kid, sometimes you'd be like roughhousing on the playground with somebody, and then someone would accidentally get hurt, and then you'd be like, hey, everything's fine, right? Because the teacher's over there looking at you like, everything's fine, right? That's how I was with Gabby when she left us, like, everything's fine, right? You had a great time. You had a great time on this podcast, did you, Gabby? You're not going to tell anyone anything different.
Join us at patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
And we're back talking with our guest, Ty Colgate. Ty, you are going to be part of Harder Brunch's adult summer camp. Mm-hmm. We are renting out a summer camp in southern Indiana, and we're doing a comedy, music, and food festival where you get to come, and it's all for one ticket. You get 5 meals. You get we're going to have a local brewery pouring beers all weekend. Everything's all inclusive. There's going to be like comedy shows, live music, podcasts, and then also like all the camp activities like swimming, archery, canoes, crafts.
Wow.
We're gonna basically have like a SNL type sketch show around the bonfire both nights. Adult food fight.
It sounds like the greatest weekend ever, or it could be the best premise for a horror film. So we could go either way depending on how this weekend plays out.
Oh yeah, we definitely set our sets high. I'm very excited about this, and you are gonna help come down with some of the photography and videography for it, which I think will honestly just end up being a really good commercial for next year. Like, I feel like all we have to do is like put on a really good show for the people that show up this year, and then next year it'll sell itself.
Oh yeah, you just film all those iconic moments, like crazy shit going on, because it's already like such a like goddamn, you guys raise the stakes of like what a comedy fest is so high with all the everything that's included with it. So as long as you get like all that iconic shit filmed and get it in the can, you'll have a bunch of shit to like show off.
Have you done a lot of comedy festivals?
No, I've mostly traveled. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like most of my money gets dumped into my gas tank. I did like Red Eye this year, which is like a West Virginia one up in Morgantown. They had like Eddie Pepitone.
Oh, cool.
And Sam Talent were the headliners.
We love Sam.
And I did one of the shows was like a hot wing eating contest. Okay. Which is great. I love spicy food. So it was great up until the last wing. Mm-hmm. And I did no jokes. I talked a lot of shit the whole time. And that last wing made me look like such a bitch.
Yeah.
And it's filmed somewhere, and I need that video deleted.
Were you crying?
I did have a little bit of tears. I tried to cheat because I Googled, so like you can't do water, obviously, with spicy food because it like the capsaicin, or however you pronounce it, it like spreads all over your tongue. But I heard that if you drink liquor, it can kill the spice. So I got shit-faced. I got vodka on the rocks. And I was like, I'm going to just take the vodka straight up there. But I didn't realize how long the show would take. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'll just coat my mouth a little bit with vodka. By the time I was up there, I was drunk to the point where I was like roasting the host, roasting the audience, roasting the guy that made the wings. And I was like, this ain't shit. And then we got to that last wing, and I was like, damn, you were angry.
Yeah.
Whoever made this was angry.
Wow.
That's so funny. We when you were talking about raising the stakes for comedy shows, so like I've only actually been to one festival so far, and it was great. But like I'm watching it, and it was a small first year festival, and I watched like one show get out, and like 30 people come out, and then they just started another show, and like those same people just went down, and I was just like, I can't do that. I can't watch
conveyor belt.
I can't watch that much comedy back to back. I need stuff to get broken up. So like with ours, as like I feel like there's something new every hour. So if you're having a fun then you're going to be like, damn, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, I wish there was more of it. And then if it's something that you're not into, it's over in an hour and then there's something else.
Well, I think that's what's like cool about the Harder Brunch Fest idea is just like there's more than just like showcase, headliner show, showcase.
Right.
And then they're doing showcases in like piece of shit venues. I mean, most fests will like, they'll admit people, but then they'll like put them on like a 2 p.m. show at a fucking cheesecake shop.
Yeah.
And you're talking to chairs or each other.
Yeah.
And it stings.
Yeah.
If you go to the right comedy fest, you'll quit stand up.
Yeah.
I'll put it like that. You pick the right one to waste your time with and you will fucking quit.
Yeah, so we're definitely trying to avoid that and pack it full of fun. But also just the idea of like all the counselors, everyone that's walking around, like you're the videographer, you're a comedian. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want. I just want like all of these are your camp counselors and they're all comics. So it's not like you have to like do your routine or do your bit, but like you're surrounded by funny people all weekend.
Totally. Well, that's the thing. Like comedy is like it's such a wide net of people. You know what I mean? You got so many backgrounds that you could almost accomplish anything with enough comedians because there's enough backgrounds going on.
Yeah.
Like Trent, you're like an alcoholic, so you have a lot of you know everything about beer that I could ever dream about knowing.
So useless at comedy.
Is it? I feel like there has been a like when I first started comedy, I was in a completely different mindset. Like I definitely came in like it's the 2000s and we're gonna say all the things that people don't want us to say, and then started doing comedy. I was like, oh, we don't do that anymore. And I was like, oh shit, like, well, like, okay.
I think now it's like authenticity, right? Isn't that what it is now?
Yeah.
It's like you got to tell your story.
But then my other thing was like, well, at least we're all fall down drunks, right? And they're like, no, we don't do that anymore. There's so much
Everyone's sober.
Everybody's
Are
sober.
you guys sober?
No, we're not.
Thank fucking God.
But everyone is either sober or like the Cali sober is the big one. It's like we don't drink, but we smoke weed or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I'm the opposite. Weed for me, I have to do like at the end of the night. I could never get super baked and then go do a set. You know,
if I was high, I wouldn't be in this room.
Yeah, it's not fun for me.
Yeah, no, I hate being around, especially people I don't know super well. And I'm high, like it's just I'm too introspective, so I'm like second guessing everything I say, and I can't do it.
I feel like me and you are on the same page, but when you tell that to someone that like rolls out of bed and smokes weed, they like look at you like, what are you talking about? Like that's crazy. And I'm like,
Welcome
I remember one
to this
time
side of the table.
Yeah, I remember one time I misjudged like a low dose edible at a show.
Oh,
and it kicked on right. It only happened to me once, but it kicked on right as I went up, and it was like my entire view changed. I felt like I was watching a movie in widescreen that was the audience.
Yep.
And I just walked up, and it was quiet for a minute, and then I just like leaned to the microphone, and I tried to start saying my first joke, and it was so hard to like get it felt like it took like 10 years, but it was probably like a minute. And then I just started getting into it, but it was a nightmare.
I never know how to dose correctly. I know that's probably not the right thing for weed, but I never know how to dose correctly. Like my roommate came up when I worked at the Weather Channel one time, and she was like, "Hey, let's go to lunch and we'll smoke some weed." And I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" Because I was like, "I'm not going to do anything." Like, it was like Weather Channel was a very lax job. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but there's not a lot of crazy shit going on. And so I got very high, and then I came back in, and they're like, "Hey, Ryan called out, so you're going to be on the jib." The jib is like a 12-foot crane, essentially, with a fucking camera attached to it that you operate and swing around a studio, and it has like a steering wheel you have to like move around.
Yeah, literally heavy machinery.
Yeah, so I just smoked so much weed, and I already can't handle it. And they're telling me this, and I'm like, "Oh my fucking God!" And they're going through the traffic of all the shots, and of course, it's like every shot is on jib, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. I'm like lugging around like I want to say it's like 1,500 pounds. So you're just like rolling it across the floor. It's on wheels and just getting it to each set piece to like do the shot.
Yeah.
And
how'd you end up doing?
Really focused. Really just intensely staring.
Because too focused.
You're essentially watching like a TV screen and you're like sweeping in and it's like, okay, we're doing it. But it felt like I was diffusing a bomb for like 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, that intensity.
Because it's live. This isn't like recorded and they edit.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, we're coming out of the commercial break and it's you.
Oh, wow.
How long did you work at the Weather Channel for?
Like 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you were always behind the camera?
Yeah, mostly camera.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you ever get in front?
I think I was on camera once or twice, but I never like delivered. I wasn't. They have like professional meteorologists.
They asked you to leave when you.
Yeah, they're like, please,
like
get
you
out
know
of
your
here.
job.
Yeah, you know your place.
Yeah.
This is capitalism.
Yeah.
Please
Put your pants on.
Yeah, dig that ditch.
Did a bunch of people have the same like hack jokes about you working at the Weather Channel like the whole time you were there?
I mean,
I can't even think of a hack joke. What's a hack joke that you have right now? Hey,
I mean, just like, hey, it works with the weather. Like, I don't know.
I bet. Well, it's like mostly like, oh, what's the weather today, or is there a chance of rain?
yeah.
But I'm so used to it because my last name is Colgate, so it's just like, so it's really like a double whammy of hack every time. Like they hear Colgate and then they hear Weather Channel, and then it's like, oh, okay, fuck. So, are you related to the Colgate company?
Yeah. I'm always interested in interesting names because my name is Dyke, and so
Legendary name.
So I'm always like, I feel like I'm part of a tribe with anybody that I could tell they get fucked with because of their name. Of like, oh, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like yelling for you. Like if I was looking for you at a theme park,
yeah.
easily could be canceled.
Oh yeah, you
A
can get in a lot of
video
trouble.
of looking like me
Yeah.
at Disney, screaming "Dyke." It's over.
It's okay. He's black. You know, he's just digging a
Yeah.
hole.
Well, we had a different. What was the term?
Whoa.
Mixed boy.
Mixed boy.
Yeah,
That
was that the
was-
scientific?
That was one of my characters. That wasn't me.
Sorry, it was a persona of the podcast.
The persona. That guy's dead.
I've had people that are like refuse to say my name before. They're like, "What's your name?" And I'll be like, "Dyke," and they're like, "I'm not gonna call you that."
Well, have you ever heard of anybody's name that like was a racial slur on accident?
There was
Like Niga?
there was I'm not playing this game with you, sir.
Oh.
But no,
This is not a game.
I've
This is
known a
question.
lot of wild names. Like I went to high school with a guy named Tracy Swallows.
Tracy Swallows.
Yeah, and so I was always like, he's got it worse than me. All right, we're
That's
good.
terrible.
We're good.
Tracy Swallows.
Tracy Swallows.
Was it a guy or girl?
It was a guy.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are rude parents.
Especially in the 90s.
They
I knew
hated that baby.
an Andrew Hyman,
Andrew Hyman.
Tony Hoare. Like,
Are you like in a support group for bad names?
yeah, I did. I mean, I think I'm just.
How do you know so many people with like crazy names?
I think I'm just sensitive to it. So if I
sensitive
if I
to
get
it.
a whiff of it, I'm like Ty Colgate. I'm like I automatically know the hack jokes that you grew up with. And it was your whole life too. It was like maybe one of the first things you heard was a bad like toothpaste joke.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can't walk around with Colgate and not get it.
I make up a lot of things, but I did hear this. This is true. There was a kid with the last name Shitoli.
Chitoli?
And it was spelled shithole. And they would, yeah, it's crazy.
You're late for work, shithole.
Yeah, like, hey, you know it's Shitoli.
I remember in church. This is like what a fucking little laugh slut I was, even as a kid. I remember when they would say prayers for people, like in church, and they would list off everyone that's like sick in the church community, and you were supposed to say a prayer. There was somebody that had the last name Loudermilk.
Oh,
And I remember just thinking that was the most hilarious last name ever. I was like,
Loudermilk? Yeah.
Loudermilk? What
I
does that
actually
even-
heard that one recently.
Yeah. There's a lot of Loudermilks. I think like
you didn't grow up around Loudermilks. They were the worst. My school, the Loudermilks.
They had to be run out.
Very disruptive.
Well, they're
They were
disruptive.
loud. You couldn't see him against a white wall.
They would just churn your stomach.
Really stop you up.
I deserve a boo button for that. I didn't like that.
We have some stuff.
Oh, wait,
Well, what else
that's
do you have
encouraging
there?
it.
We have an applause.
Oh, well, we needed that for a while.
you're not going to
We
do that
have a
for any of
laugh.
Dad's jokes. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, that's not.
And my favorite is the jazz.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
I always like to
It
ask
gets
guests.
nowhere, but it's great.
I always like to ask guests this: what is your worst like bombing memory?
My worst bombing memory? I think recently was
Boston bombing.
yeah. Yeah. It's just I just wanted to see them finish that race. I just wanted to know how people place, but
I always go with
a lot of DNFs that day.
I was always going to go with Oklahoma City, but
Oh yeah. Not many people died in that one.
I like the
Oklahoma
Utah bombings as a
City.
series.
Yeah.
Nagasaki, is that unfair?
I
That
celebrate
was
the
the
whole
worst.
catalog, actually.
That one we had
That's
to
the most
apologize for.
prolific, I would say.
Sorry, I guess I should say comedy
Nagasaki?
bombings.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yeah.
I think one of the worst ones that I can remember is I just got into Barcelona, and it was the first show in Barcelona, and I had to take Bullet, and I bombed. Like I was supposed to do like 7 or 8. She was like, we just kind of fit you into the show, but people weren't showing up for the lineup, so she was like, oh, it's extended to like 15
Stretch,
minutes.
Yeah.
I bombed from minute 1 on. They hated me so much. And I think halfway through, I was just like, well, they liked it in Germany. That was it. And I tried to crowd work. It was like my first time crowd working in Europe, because in like Berlin, they just liked the material. So it was like,
Yeah.
I just got away with just doing jokes and being like, oh, yeah, this is it. And in Barcelona, I like tried to crowd work, but I realized I'd never crowd worked in Europe. So it was like, oh, like, where are you from? And he was like, Ireland. And I was like, I don't know anything about Ireland. I don't know a fucking thing
Yeah.
about Ireland.
Yeah.
So I can't even be funny about this. It's just like, cool.
You can only be vaguely racist about
Yeah, go eat a fucking potato, Mick.
Hey, easy with the mix.
No, we can do that. We can look. Hey, that's the one. That's the one on the
I'm
list that
kidding.
you guys gave me. So
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Potato Mick was a guy I went to high school with.
Yeah.
potato Mick. Yeah,
He was cool.
yeah. I think that one hurt because that was like, man, I spent $1,200 on a flight and traveled thousands of miles to feel like I just started stand up for the first time.
Yeah, to do Gold Dust.
It had a Gold Dust vibe, but it was packed out with like the prettiest European people I'd ever seen. So I'm just bombing in front of like hot European people.
It's even worse.
And I'm like, God. And I got to do the show again because the producer wasn't there and killed that like next week. I have no idea what changed other than like I came back with like fury. I was just like, I'm
Did
going
you
to fucking
start
attack.
saying it Barcelona?
Apparently you're not supposed to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they don't speak Spanish. Technically, they speak like Catalan. And you don't do the sound in Catalan or Catalonian.
Fuck them. I'm not going to go.
I've always found like the worst, like for me, is always like when there's like music tied to comedy, and somehow it's almost a guaranteed bomb because the energies are so different. Where
Very
it's just
different.
like people came just to see music or whatever. And one of I don't know if it was my worst bomb, but it was the one that like sits on top of my memory. Was like I was at a show, and also like Thad just popped in to watch. And like we weren't even like roommates. We were like friends, but like we weren't like super close. But like I'm just bombing the whole time, and like two things I'm thinking about. One is I'm just staring at Thad, and Thad just has a grin from ear to ear, like
course.
the whole time.
Nothing better to watch.
And then the second, I think I had to do like 15 minutes, and I knew about 2 minutes in that nobody was into this. But like in such a way where it was like everyone was like being very polite about it, like they
course.
wanted me to do well, but we're still not
That hurts
enjoying
worse.
it. Yeah,
They're rooting for you.
Everybody is rooting for me, but also not enjoying it. And I'm
Yeah.
just thinking in my head, there's so much more time I have to do.
Yeah.
Like we're at 3 minutes.
And you know it's bad, like when the room starts getting louder, like where you can hear the talking starts. Like I want to finish my conversation I was having.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually everyone stops being polite, and they're
you
like,
start like leaving your body.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, just
you're like
associate.
watching yourself do stand up and be bad at it, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't good. It wasn't enjoyable for a lot of people.
But you enjoyed it.
I did because I wanted to see what you're gonna do. It's kind of like watching a cartoon. Like, oh, you just drove off the cliff.
Yeah.
Like, how you're not gonna be able to save this?
Let me be clear. As a comic, I prefer watching a bomb. It's so much more
Yeah.
fun because you don't get to see it as much.
Yeah.
Because as you get like better, you get on better shows and stuff.
Sure.
But there's nothing more fun.
Yeah.
especially if it's your friend.
Oh my god.
It has to be the
Yes.
right situation. I don't like going to open mics and seeing people try new jokes that don't work. Like that's like terrible for me. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It becomes some type of torture for me just to see people struggle up there, and it's not even empathy. I'm like, this is time torture.
If you give me like a chance to step out of the room for a little bit, come back in, I'll be recharged to watch people bomb. You gotta give me a break though. I need an intermission.
Nails on the chalkboard.
Really.
You're a patio warrior, they call them.
What's a patio warrior?
You're just out on the patio the whole open.
No, I'll stay. I'll stay, but I'm like, I want to see people do good. I want to like learn.
I see it
Yeah.
as two different things. Like an open mic is an open mic.
Sure.
You know, like I'm not going with the mindset of like I'm going to see
See
some
everybody
good comedy here. It's just like people are gonna it's like being at the gym, you know, like you wouldn't like be, I don't know, man. He's just working out. Like, I feel like
you can't take anything too serious at an open mic just because you don't know what they're trying to accomplish that night and what they're trying to figure out.
Plus, I almost always feel bad leaving an open mic. Like most open mics I've ever left, like unless I just go up there and do material for whatever reason, that like I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people, I should just do material here.
Yeah.
But like working out a new joke or working out like a lot of new jokes at once never feels good. You know, unless and like it feels a lot better for me like to slip a new joke in a show. Yeah. And then just test it out that way. But if I go with like 3 new jokes, there's no way all 3 of them are going to hit, right?
Of course,
so it's just like half of the set.
But be honest, though, when that new joke hits,
oh, it's like sweet heroin.
Yeah, you're walking around like I'm a fucking god at this. I look at people. If I have a joke that kills as new, I'm like, for that day alone, I'm like, we couldn't be in the same room. I'm like, I cracked the code to comedy. And then I'll go to a showcase, and then that joke bombs for some reason. I'm like, I know nothing.
What happened?
That's the weirdest thing. That happens a lot when we do McCrackens. I'll have like something that crushes, and then you go to a real show, and you're like, what were they laughing at to begin with?
Open mics are very like preliminary.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're just the right kind of degenerate for that joke, and they're going to give you a false reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like we were talking about last night, like possibly going to a late night mic after our shows at Laughing Skull, and I was like, why would I want to like drown this good feeling that I have? You know, like we just had 2 good, we both had 2 good sets. Like let's just enjoy that. Let's carry that through until
Was that a comedy clubhouse?
No, we're
Edgewood.
Oh, Dynamic El Dorado. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was and nothing bad against the mic, you know.
No.
Like,
most people understand that sentiment.
Yeah.
Did we mess up though, networking wise? Like looking back, if there was a different timeline, we were like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, a lot of open micers don't know your names now.
Yeah, at this time,
you boys are going to be on the indie showcase circuit.
Yeah.
You won't be doing the hot pepper show.
But then you never know because like, okay, let's say there's a bunch of open micers that are 2 years in, right? And then that person becomes the next
2 years
director.
in, you guys are going to you're doing a fucking summer camp comedy fest.
Okay,
what do you think your
you.
2-year trajectory is?
All right. Well,
you boys need some self-confidence. You're going to be fine. You don't need the guy at Dynamic El Dorado that just started and is going to go tell an ass-eating joke to know you right now.
I get part of me just likes the idea of like going to other places, and Atlanta's the one that we've most recently put the most time into. But like going in and like I love the city. I love the comedy scene here. I feel like we've always had a good experience, and it's always kind of built on the next thing. But I wanted to do the same thing you were talking about. Like now, I want to go and do that in Denver. Now I want to go do that in like because like
it's tough. You plant seeds in these places, so a lot of times the first visit
is
not great.
Yeah,
not great. But
you always have to prove yourself. I mean, it's kind of like a thing of like how many times you walked into a green room and people kind of look at you sideways until they see you perform. Yep. And they're like, oh, he knows what he's doing, you know. And then it's like they treat you completely different. I always feel that way too, like around kind of some like even if I like go to see like that perform somewhere, and sometimes there's like another traveling comic going, I wish they knew I was a comic.
I wish they knew I was funny. I could tell jokes too.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, I get that feeling
because you know, like when you walk off stage after you had a hot set, and you're like, everyone knows what I just did up there. Yeah. And then like when you watch one of your friends do that, and then you don't get that, it's just like I can do that too. I want everyone to know I can do that too.
I have the same skill set. I promise. Actually, I wrote that tag for him.
People like my jokes too, not just him. He's not always the funny one. People like both of our jokes the same.
It's tough, yeah, because when you're starting, I don't know. I mean, especially the early stages, you're always like, it's always a road game. Mm-hmm. Like every new city you go to, it's a road game. It takes forever before it like starts turning to something comfortable where you're like, okay, they know me here at Skull. I can fuck around.
Yeah, that's what happened a little bit this time. I'm not like trying to put my own foot in my mouth, but like I was like, I'm like nervous, not nervous to go up. I'm talking to people, and they're like, oh, like yeah, they know who you are. Like you did good last time. I'm like, oh, like that feels good that like a performance preceded you, because like I'm like looking at strangers right now. I don't know who remembers or not.
I always want to feel at the baseline like I'm supposed to be there, you know, like because I remember the first time we walked in. we just walked in. We just walked into the green room, and I was just, and I told, and I told Thad, I was like, I don't have walk in someplace I don't belong energy, but I will follow you in if you go in. Like if I will go in your wake, but I will not just. And so he just walks up to the door guy. I have no idea what he says, and then just like, come on, and like we just walk back in the green room, and then we're just standing there around comics, and like after a while, people are like, so you guys on the show tonight? We're like, no. And like, that just without skipping a beat, he's like, no. We're gonna be performing here in July. We just wanted to come check it out. And I was like, oh, that's cool, blah blah. So the whole night I'm like, man, it's so cool. We're gonna perform here in July. And then after he goes, no, man, I just made that shit up.
Oh no, that was a great recovery.
That's a good move.
That's an excellent recovery.
I actually thought we were performing in July.
That's
and
even
we did.
better. He's manifesting.
You need to just start lying to him about that shit more.
Is there something as called lie-festing? Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Dyke will do this thing where he'll complain about something and then it comes true. Mm-hmm. Like he'll be like, man, I really want this booking at this one spot. And then like the phone will ring. I'm like, hey, I just got booked at that spot. I'm like, that's a Kaplana fest.
No, it's usually shittier than that. It's like, I can't believe this person doesn't think I'm good enough to book me at their club. Oh my God, blah blah. And then I get a book and I'm like, oh man, did my bitching just make that happen?
Oh man, you can't. Club owners can't rattle you. Club owners are crazy. Almost every club owner I've met is a fucking insane person.
I feel like especially any independent like owned club, where there's no there's no HR department.
Oh yeah, there's one in Florida where the dude literally was in prison for selling cocaine. Still sells cocaine.
Nice.
Still sells it.
That's actually how you get booked
fun
with
club.
clubs, is you bring them cocaine, and then they're like, oh, I'll bring this guy back.
I've definitely worked for some places that I'm like, oh, I feel like this is going to be a good podcast story for like the rest of my life, or there's a certain club that people have worked at where they're just like, oh, like we all have the same, everyone has the same story,
yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, I've never been to a club that sold cocaine though, so
Gotta work the Florida
does that
circuit.
mean I haven't made it?
I wouldn't look that far into it.
Yeah.
You
I'd
wouldn't,
have
or you would?
I would have. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Just have a good time in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Don't even rattle yourself like that. That's only one club ever, and it was just a wild experience, a very wild night. Just because I was like, this guy, he like told me that he murdered someone as well, and I was like, I feel like you shouldn't be telling me these things.
Time out. Is this the place where like the guy, when he pulls out the money, he puts the gun on the table? Am I in the city?
It feels like that. It feels like, oh, here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
I know you have to get going to a comedy show you're hosting tonight, but before we go, what was the name of the pizza place that we got the pizza from?
Marietta Pizza Company.
Marietta Pizza Company. So we're technically in a suburb of Atlanta right now.
Yes,
And,
the greatest suburb of the Atlanta metro area.
The best suburb of Atlanta.
And shout out to the Marietta.
Well, not this neighborhood.
Shout out to the Marietta Pizza Company, though. We had a beautiful. I ordered a pepperoni, but they gave us a cheese, and it was great. It was still great.
Yeah.
And we had some wonderful cheese sticks. We're gonna post pictures of it this weekend. I
feel like we catfished him with food. Like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll be with Harder Brunch.
He saw that donut tower that Liam did.
Oh, I saw the
like,
food, and then it was like, oh, cheese pizza. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's like a fifth grade. We all did well in the test in fifth grade. Celebrating.
So next time you're up in Indy, definitely have to come by and get the real experience. Before we let you go, where can people find you and follow you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Ty.Colgate. You can find me on pretty much everything. Just type in Ty Colgate. There's not enough of them.
Trent?
I'm also, Instagram, Trent Ludzak.
I thought you'd be like, I'm also Ty Colgate.
I'm also Ty Colgate.
1?
If you want to find me, look up Ty Colgate.
Yeah.
Daddy's Jake.
At Twitter and Instagram, it's all at Thad McKee, or Threads. I called at Threads.
Oh, yeah.
Threads is all Thad McKee.
So, Threads now.
I'm also starting in this new empire. It's called Social Media Purge. It will be coming very soon this August.
Also, if you guys want to come and join us at our adult summer camp, check out the Harder Brunch Adult Summer Camp at eventbrite.com. We also have an amazing Patreon with an expansive Patreon library. Patreon.com/Harder Brunch. Only $3, and you get access to our entire library of all of our past shows and all of our fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.